There are thousands of DOS games. Most of them are terrible. I play one selected at random with a 20-minute time limit and record it live. This is the result. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Random DOS Game Show. And today we have a game brought to us by Titus. Not quite sure how to feel about that. They had a very spotty track record of games. Like for every Wild Guns, there was a couple of Superman 64 great games that came out under their watch, but this is also by Versus, according to that. And that doesn't remind me of the Interplay intro at all with the laser there. The Power to Escape. Don't know much about them, but... And it looks like a chessboard to me, with pieces getting lined up. And look at that transition to 3D. And Virtual Chess is the game we're going to be checking out today. Look at this little 3D animated intro here. Now, this game came out, I believe, was in 1997. I'm playing the Platinum Edition, which is essentially the special edition of this game. So, 3D graphics, I guess, were still relatively novel, but maybe they didn't have quite the same wow factor that games from earlier in the decade would have. But, alright. Got another rotating chessboard with different pieces, it looks like. Or different styled pieces. It's still chess, presumably, but the pieces look different. Okay. Okay, and we're in. I may have to cut out part of that intro or speed it up or something in editing, because that took a while. But yeah, this is a chess game by the looks of things, and I suppose I should be upfront for transparency's sake and admit that I am terrible at chess, mostly due to lack of experience. Like, I know how to play chess, but I've hardly ever played it, so I don't know anything about the, optimal moves to make and all that sort of thing, but... So we got this, and looks like these are all kind of Windows style, or I guess maybe closer to Macintosh styles. Is this a close button? Yeah, so it's kind of closer to Apple Macintosh style interactive windows there, but pressing and holding the right mouse button looks like it gives us a menu of sorts. And looks like we have a whole bunch of options here. So we can change the graphics options, the sound if we're so inclined. We can change the look of the chessboards. There's a 3D board option here. Ooh, look at this. Oop, hello. And let's see, can I move this around? I can. So clicking this little button here allows you to rotate it. Though there is a limit to how far it'll let you rotate it. You can't rotate it all the way around and such, but what does this do? Oh, that just did a move. Interesting. Okay. So what does this do? Okay, so you can undo moves with these little arrows. Interesting. Okay. But you can play the top-down view as well. Looks like, though, yeah, you can change the appearance of the 2D chessboard too. Oh, that's larger, definitely. What happens if we go all the way? Wow. Yeah, you could have it take it practically the whole screen if you want. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. And let's go ahead, we'll go ahead and maybe drop this back down to medium. So that way we still have options for these sorts of things. Let's go to the game, though. Level's probably what I'm looking for. Let's go with Novice, since I have no idea what I'm doing. And what the heck, since it's available, we'll go ahead. Okay, so this is a different style of chessboard. This is what I'm sure the overly long intro was alluding to. So there's 3 different styles of chessboards. And it's Staunton, Modern, and Inca by looks, or basic Staunton and Inca. And yeah, kind of interesting if you wanted to have an alternate take. I think though out of the 3 so far that we have seen, let's go back. I think the basic is perhaps the easiest to read of the 3. So let's see. How do I bring this to the forefront? I could drag this down, I suppose. And let's see if we can play via the 3D chessboard. Let's go ahead and bring this back up. I think this provides like stats and such. So let's go ahead and that's a decent angle, I think. Bring it. Nope, I can't drag it up any further. Okay, let's go ahead and without any further ado, let us start. How do I do this? Looks like clicking and holding with the left mouse button. So I'll go ahead and do this. And according to this, that's the bird's opening. I'll take your word for it, since I don't know anything about chess, as all about the actual moves as has been established already. Let's go ahead and bring you up. They've brought their knight out. So let's bring our knight out. A grand knight out. Uh-oh. Pawn is threatening it now, isn't it? Let's see. If I bring it there, their knight's going to be able to take mine, though. Let's go ahead and move it maybe here. And they've brought out one of their bishops. Yeah. The bishop could take this pawn here, but if they do that, my bishop should be able to take theirs. So I'm not overly concerned about that. I don't think the computer would sacrifice a bishop for a pawn. It is set on novice difficulty, though, so maybe the AI is programmed to make such decisions. Nope, they just brought the bishop up 1 tile. I don't know if I can really do anything about that. I suppose if I brought the pawn up, that's assuming they don't move the bishop at all, though. Oh, I see, but, yeah. Maybe I could do that. Let me go ahead and bring up this pawn up here. Oop. And, well, I guess we can take their pawn with our pawn. And let's move this up, I guess. All right. Maybe I'll bring my bishop. Well, but I would have to move the pawns first, wouldn't I? And if I move this one up here, their pawn's going to take that. So I can't really do that much there. I'm not going to move this bishop. No, their bishop's going to take the knight if he does that. Let me just move this pawn up. Okay. Now, I'm going to move this knight out here. See what happens. And move their bishop back. Okay. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, you get the idea. It seems like a pretty solid chess game. It's got a lot of options too. I mean, granted, I guess you could argue this is the culmination maybe of like a decade and a half worth of maybe taking notes and learning from previous renowned chess series like Chess Master and Battle Chess and all the other well-known chess games that preceded it, so this is kind of like taking everything that came before and fine-tuning things. So, but yeah, this seems like a pretty competently made chess game, though, regardless, though. Looks like there's various analysis options. Let's see the hint. So it's telling us to move the knight. Looks like it. Search for mate. Brute force are selected. You can analyze the game. And I believe color to analyze. Yeah. Analyze info. Oh, wow. Okay. So interesting. Comment screen just came up. All right. So it looks like there's all sorts of like aids too, depending on how new you are to the game. Well, obviously, you know, you can change the difficulty to whatever. It looks like there's even like a custom option. Look at this. This is really impressive, honestly. So even for someone who is terrible at chess, I can definitely tell for aficionados of digital versions of the game, this seems pretty solid. So I'll just go ahead and make a few more moves. Now maybe I'll move the bishop out. Oh, their bishop took that one, that pawn. Okay. Well, what can I do anything about that? I can move this pawn up, which would allow the queen to threaten the bishop. So if he's smart, oh yeah, and of course, duh, you open your queen up. Smooth, very smooth, Nostril. Well, I guess I could take him with the king, but I just lost my most powerful piece, so this does not bode well for me, and I imagine that if I was to continue playing, then this probably would end in my loss, despite it being a novice game, because I'm not giving this my full attention, because it can be difficult to record and play at the same time. But it looks like you can change the styles even in the middle of the game. So yeah, this seems pretty good. Is there a way to go back to, I'll just start over with a new game. Is there a title screen to go back to or anything? Print, you can print out the move. Wow. Serial port. Wow. So it allows for even like possibly like a multiplayer as well. Network. Yeah. Online multiplayer, which was still a fairly new concept back in 1997. And not very many games in general, much less chess games, allowed for this. So that's pretty impressive. I do know there's a Windows version of this, so that would maybe explain the UI for this and such as well. But so yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and call it there. I don't think there's a title screen to go back to. So was a Virtual Chess Platinum Edition, and yeah, it's a pretty solid chess experience, I gotta say. Like I said, the developers of this game seem to have taken studious notes from the various chess games that preceded it and took note of what worked and what didn't, and it seems like a very feature-rich interpretation of the classic game. So chess aficionados who also are into DOS gaming, I would heartily recommend this one. This seems pretty solid. And if you want more DOS chess action, then a handful of these types of games have already been covered on the series, and I know that there are still several more that haven't been covered yet, so stay tuned. And while you're at it, check out the other videos on this channel and consider subscribing. But that'll do for now. Time to clear the board for another day. And until next time, take care, everyone. Ooh, look at that. A nice little closing cutscene.